Jack, rip that door.
What are you doing here?
Getting you out. Here, put this on. You'll need it.
You could get in a lot of trouble for doing this.
Not anymore. Things have changed. We better go.
What about the other prisoners? You can't just leave them here.
They're gone. Hoffman pardoned everybody.
Is that right?
Welcome back to the Army, soldier.
Shit.
Gears of War Ultimate Edition has finally arrived on PC, and with the many rumors, speculation, and leaks, the expectation as to how it will look and perform is certainly high. Back in 2006, Epic Games launched one of their most successful and inspiring franchises on the Xbox 360. Some might say that Gears of War defined that generation. Originally launching on both console and PC, Gears of War was a stellar win for console and PC gamers alike. When the sequel was released, however, many PC gamers became distasteful of Microsoft and were left feeling abandoned as the company's focus had now shifted, with the remaining sequels tied exclusively to the Xbox 360. Now under the watchful eye of Xbox head Phil Spencer, the company's new initiative in bringing former Xbox titles to the PC is one that's welcomed. And with many titles hitting PC this year, there's one in particular that seems most appropriate for leading the pack. Releasing last year on Xbox One, Gears of War Ultimate Edition served as a refresher of the original game, as well as providing a taste of what's in store for Gears of War 4 in terms of visual prowess. Bringing a horde of new features such as support for 7.1 surround sound, dedicated servers, additional multiplayer characters, and all of the DLC from the original, this stands to be the best version of the game yet. And let's not forget the game's complete graphical overhaul. This isn't your everyday run-of-the-mill remaster. Gears of War Ultimate Edition has been rebuilt from the ground up based on the original source code. The development team at the Coalition have even taken things that much further with the PC version, delivering native 4K support and 60Hz gameplay. Now that we have some history on the game and why it's so important to the platform, what's it about? Well, if you want the full scoop, see our initial review of the Xbox One version in the description. We delivered a full rundown on its multiplayer, the new and improved cutscenes, bonus features, and a brief story flashback, which for all purposes remains the same. Any PC gamers out there that may be new to the series, here's the long story short. You're Marcus Phoenix, a big bad gorilla-sized soldier imprisoned for disobeying military procedures. Marcus is granted release because, he's big and bad, and the locust-infested planet of Sarah has reached a breaking point. So how exactly does it hold up on PC now that it's no longer held hostage by the constraints of a console? The first and foremost interesting aspect is that it's the first title to run solely on DX12, a next-generation API set to provide low-level console-like access between hardware and software. To put this into layman terms, advanced visual effects that were not possible in DirectX 11 and 2 to 4 times the performance gain on the same set of hardware versus DirectX 11. Getting 30 frames per second in DirectX 11? Play in DirectX 12 and you'll get 90 in theory. So visuals, our PC sports an i5 3570K, 8GB RAM, and an NVIDIA Titan Black. This sits in similar territory as a GTX 970 and 980. Bearing this in mind, one thing's immediately clear. Epic Games pushed the Xbox 360 to its limits. Fact of the matter is, Gears of War Ultimate Edition looks exactly how you remember the original, but had someone told me this was a PC port of Gears of War Judgment with a revamped lighting model and higher-res textures, then I would be none the wiser. The improvements are noticeable, but they strike me more as a testament to how good the prior game looked on a much older platform. Where the game primarily shines is in the attention to detail. Environments are incredibly detailed and character models are drastically improved. It takes a while for everything to mentally kick in as to just how good the game actually looks. Marcus is clearly at his best as everything from the textures in his bandana to the scratches on his armor all contain such fine detail. No polygonal fingers here, and no sharp jawline. Every wrinkle and skin discoloring around his face is immensely rich and intricately carved. That cliché camera pan while you slow walk around the game's environment thinking you're so cool, it's worth it. It's certainly an improvement over the Xbox One, but that being said, I stand by what I said in regards to the Xbox 360. Had the game launched in 2013, it would have held more visual dominance. The original Gears was dirty and full of grit, and it gave the game strength, indicating its tone and mood. It also provided visual filters emphasizing photographic techniques. These are not absent, opting for a more natural approach. While these aspects of the original game made it so appealing, it's purely subjective. As for performance, well, it's clear that throwing more pixels at the screen than relying on Moore's Law to take care of the rest isn't going to cut it. Does it reach 60 frames? Yes. Are the system requirements hefty? To an extent. Playing at 1080p resolution with maximum settings, it met its target, but stuttering issues and prolonged freezes hampered my enjoyment. These issues were present regardless of graphical settings. It's playable, but also patchable. 4K was met with mixed results, and lowering settings to medium resulted into a fairly decent performance. But with our 4 graphical presets, there isn't much to tweak. Textures have an additional highest setting, anti-aliasing is off or FXAA. A larger cause for concern are the stuttering issues within its audio. What happened to that 7.1 surround sound? Well, it's there, it just functions off its own accord. Ironically, there's no adjustments available within its audio settings aside from music, sound effects, and dialogue. Here's the takeaway. Gears of War Ultimate Edition has finally come to PC. Brilliant. Does it run well? Yes, but keeping in mind my system specs, which are essentially powering through, I can't say how well the game will perform on lower end hardware. I will say this though, regardless of the Xbox One version being locked to 30 frames, the visuals on display have clearly peaked the console's capabilities. If not peaked, then it's definitely received better optimization than the PC. Should players decide to install the game on an SSD, then the aforementioned stuttering issues may not occur. Maybe it's down to the game's loading assets and environment, I can't be certain, but since the Xbox One version also relies on an HDD, the requirement for an SSD is certainly pushing it. On the positive side, the cover-based mechanics that Epic introduced in 2006 have not aged at all and they feel great. Gears of War Ultimate Edition delivers on classic gameplay, enhanced visuals, nostalgic resonance, and a much welcomed frame rate improvement. So welcome home.
If you like what we're doing, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. See you soon!